You're listening to an ATYL Media production.
Drivers, this is your warning. Race above the yellow line. If in NASCAR's judgment you go below the yellow line to improve your position, you will be black flagged.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another week of Below the Yellow Line, coming to you after the series headed out to the high desert of Phoenix, Arizona, a doubleheader weekend. Buddy Pulley staying cool the only way he knows how.
Mountains are blue, baby.
It's the only way they should be. If you drink Coors Light before the mountains are blue, straight to jail. Woo!
Yeah.
Crispy and delicious.
Yeah.
Love your koozie, by the way. Carson Quapple. We'll talk a little bit about him tonight. There was a lot of action for Carson, a handful of other O'Reilly's Auto Parts Series drivers this weekend. But
O'Reilly.
Is it O'Reilly or O'Reilly's?
It's O'Reilly. We went over this.
Or is it the O'Reilly?
You Italian.
I can never, you know, I'm genetically predisposed to use possessive pronouns, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, we'll get things rolling here. We've got a couple of headlines that have been making the rounds that aren't exactly weekend race related. If you haven't heard by now, or maybe you've been living under a rock for a while, Cleetus McFarland likes racing in NASCAR. So he has a new venture he's taking on with Richard Childress Racing. It is a 2-year contract. He's looking at doing, looks like 3-ish races a year from what he had told Dale Jr. on the download, where he'll run super speedways. I believe there was a conversation about maybe running Rockingham as well in that O'Reilly Auto Parts Series car. So Cletus is bringing up some great conversations, and I know Buddy has a pretty hot steaming take on this. I'm sure you're going to want to hear, but for me, I think it's one where I think Cletus is great. I love Cletus's content. I think he's great for the sport. I think he's great for the industry. Brings a lot of new eyeballs, does all the things that marketing wants him to do. I do think there's a conversation he brings up about NASCAR's licensing system and how it works and what it is. And it's not a dig at Cletus. I don't know. It's hard to kind of make that, say those two things in the same sentence, but he does drive a lot of different types of cars and is quite a wheelman in his own right. But I think, as he develops, I'm glad to see he wants to develop in this sport. I just think maybe there was a better way to do it. Maybe there was a way that could have been a little bit more, there could have been a little more time for him to grow and really understand what it is that he's going to get behind the wheel of. But he will race. He has the contract. The sponsor is there. The deal is inked. So what do you think? What do you make of all that, buddy? I mean, it's definitely something that people have been talking a lot about.
Yeah, I just want to give a call to action to all our viewers out there. Look, we need subscribers. We need all of the subscribers, all the views, because if we can get somewhere around 4 million subscribers. I don't know about you, Sal. I've never been behind the wheel of a race car, but I know damn well if you lovely men and women out there who are watching Below the Online can subscribe and we can get to that mark. Maybe I could drive a race car.
Below the Yellow Line Motorsports, help us make it happen.
On God, dude. I mean, dude, it's like, here's the thing. I agree with you. I think Cletus is great for the sport. I think he does want to do well in the sport, but NASCAR and this approval process, I mean, come on, dude. It's like meeting a hot girl at the bar and marrying her the next week. That's what we're doing here. I mean, we are just, he will be in the Daytona 500 next year. If he can go to Rockingham and not step on his dick, which he did not do in the Rockingham truck test, he will be at Talladega, and then he's going to run the Daytona 500 next year. I mean,
it's just hard because I don't think he's got the races under his belt to do even what he's doing now. But
no, he's run four ARCA races.
I think people have to understand, though, that when somebody walks in the door with a check as big as what Cletus brings with them, you know that he's going to somebody's going to jump on this and put him on track. And if it's not you, in this case, it's Richard Childress. Richard Childress is proactive getting ahead of this. It's not Richard Childress Racing's fault.
I don't think
the license exists.
I heard through the grapevine, and maybe this isn't exactly true, but this is just what I heard. The whole story about Richard Childress like going to him, I heard that that's.
I'm sure he was hunting around.
I'm willing to believe NASCAR was like, we need him in. Let's put the tinfoil hat on. We like doing that here.
We do. That's one of our favorite things.
And let's put it out there. We are members of a wonderful organization here at ATYL Media who is respected. This is just opinions and hearsay, and just this is where we get that all out. And so take it with a grain of salt. But I mean, I'm willing to bet that Cletus was like, I want to run Xfinity, and NASCAR's like, all right, well. We'll help you find a ride, and Richard Childress Racing was just the ones willing to take the bait.
I had heard on another podcast this week, the Here for the Speed podcast. Shout out to those guys; they put on a good show every week. They had made a comment. Plugs. No free plugs, but they had made a comment though that Ty Dillon. They had heard that Ty Dillon had maybe perhaps been a major catalyst behind getting that deal done for Cletus at RCR. So I don't know what that entails, but there's certainly some tomfoolery going on behind the scenes here to put old Garrett Mitchell, big old cleat dog, behind the wheel. And it's funny too, because his Squirrel McNutt, that real name, like real character name for this other guy, he's going to run an ARCA. He's going to start running the ARCA car that Cletus is leaving behind. So it's very much so. Yeah. If Sal and Buddy had 4 million YouTube subscribers.
Well, it's all up to you all listening out there. It's your fault we don't have a.
Let us go door to door in the content creator O'Reilly Auto Parts series.
I'll just go door to door. I live in an apartment complex. That's a couple thousand right there.
Let's do it. I'm into it. You said you've never been behind the wheel of a race car, buddy. Is there any car you think you could get behind the wheel of and be proficient at a national touring series level?
I told you like episode 2 that I could probably win a ARCA or a Riley race. Toxic. I have several toxic traits. One of them is that I think I could win an O'Reilly Super Speed race, and that I could survive a plane crash better than anyone. There's many things I think I can do, but probably can't. But that's not going to stop me from trying. We're working on it.
I think I could drive an ARCA car. I wouldn't say I would win, but I think I could get behind the wheel of an ARCA car and be able to finish a race.
I'll win an ARCA race tomorrow. Yeah,
that's big. That's big confidence.
I'll do it.
That'd be interesting because we're going to hear from an ARCA driver later in the show.
Hey, I sponsored an ARCA car one time. I can, hey, look, I'll throw a couple more dollars at it. I could probably get a second one going. I could be out there. Put me in Michigan. Me and Cleet going back
Buddy
and forth.
Pulley, Cletus McFarland, Tony Stewart, and Squirrel McNutt go 4 wide into turn 3 at Michigan.
Walks in a bar. Oh my God.
Wild days. So definitely something to keep an eye on as we, get closer to Talladega and other super speedway races this year. That's where we're going to see Cleet pop back up in the O'Reilly car. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope that I hope that it's positive. I hope he takes it as a learning experience and he's not just chucking it in there trying to win the race his first time out.
Yeah.
I hope it's one where he, the team is giving him the tools to actually learn something where they can step up
and I want
give
to
him the experience.
I want to give Cletus credit because the approval process is really what we're talking about is just a joke here. Cletus himself seems like he really wants to do well, and I give him credit for that because when he wrecked in that truck race, it was the perfect opportunity for him to get on live TV and just be Cletus McFarland and Joe, and he seemed like he took it pretty seriously and took it to heart. And I listened to the Dale Jr. download and Kevin Harvick's happy hour with Cletus, and it seemed like that seemed like he was really taking this seriously. So, and I can respect that. It's the approval process. It's not him.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think it's something where, I think it'd be great entertainment for everybody at home. But I hope, I hope Cletus is ready for the investment. I think he is, because he could be doing other things. He's got a whole playground worth of racetracks and race cars, and the guy can.
I'm excited. He said he bought a pro late model, so I might get to see Cletus race later this year.
That'd be pretty cool to see him do a little cars tour stuff, or even like a weekly track series if he was just trying to get some experience.
He's got it. Yeah.
He's got the track in his backyard just to turn laps. If he really
just wait. We'll have some Cletus content here later on this year if you've run a pro late model. On tour comes out Wednesdays on ATYL Media.
No free ads, buddy. Come on. But it'll be interesting to see what everybody's reaction is to Cletus. I think we've seen a lot of it already, but as it gets closer and more real, it'll be cool. Speaking of other polarizing kind of figure in NASCAR, Carson Hocevar made some headlines off track this weekend in a good way. They're considering there's whispers going around that there's some consideration for Carson to get a personal Monster Energy sponsorship deal, which is unique and worth noting because of how sponsors are beginning to kind of evolve in the sport beyond being on the car, beyond being in commercials and advertising for the series. So I think we see this kind of really develop with Red Bull first. Red Bull's had like individual athlete sponsorships for a very long time. They've had this opportunity with their, I feel like they have just unlimited money, Red Bull. Okay. So Monster is also in a similar situation with their energy drink enterprise to kind of do this. And they've done it in like some motocross stuff and some other motorsports. And like Maddie Gordon is going to have Monster on her Top Fuel this year. So you can see Monster Energy kind of diversifying their motorsports portfolio right now in terms of who they're sponsoring and what their presence is. So really interesting stuff. I don't know if it's just like nice to note or if there's something more there than what, traditional sponsors would be.
I think it's a hell of a partnership. Carson Hocevar definitely needed an energy drink sponsor. The kid's, he's a 14-year-old at heart named Kyle. So, and it's a little insider information. So this week I was covering the Speed Week at Southern National Motorsports Park, which will feature on tour this Wednesday if you guys care to watch here on ATYL Media. But Carson Hocevar was there on Wednesday, walking around, just he was hanging out by Matt McCall's pit, and he was drinking a Blue Monster. So yeah, so
if he's already got the fridge stocked at home,
he's got it. Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense. I think the advertisers and the brands, they want to have this 24-hour, 7-day-a-week kind of brand presence when they have an athlete. And I think the way Red Bull has kind of structured that has become the model for brands that really want to be invested.
On the Twitch stream.
Dude, imagine like they gave him a white Monster Cup car. Can you imagine the edits that we would get from a white Monster Cup car? They can't keep doing the black and orange or the black and green ones because they look the same. Like when Riley Herbst and Ty Gibbs were running that car at the same time, and then like Tyler Reddick would get the Nasty Beast one. Like
There was a Nasty Beast, Tyler Reddick. Ty Gibbs
green one and an orange one, wasn't there?
Well, no. Tyler Reddick would run the green Beast car, and then Ty Gibbs would run the normal Monster car, and then Riley Herbst would have the Zero Sugar.
Can we just be less confused?
White Monster. Really, that's all I look for in a woman is
peak.
Yeah. So, White Monster is just what filled my TikTok for you page. So if I can only imagine what Carson Hocevar will do with it. Like I saw someone make a White Monster like gun, dude, crazy work. And then I saw someone build a bouquet of flowers out of White Monster cans, and then
it's for the culture. It's the culture, you know.
Just
I
think of the
if you're gonna
content.
attach yourself. Carson's the guy.
He could build a white monster flamethrower.
All he's got to do is cover up the flamethrower he's got already.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Perfect.
Like, yeah.
I mean, it's going to be cool. Hopefully, we get some more news on this, and we see Carson kind of in this brand ambassador role. It'd be cool to see some creative monster marketing through Carson.
What flavor of monster does Carson Hocevar embody?
The red one. Do you remember the red one? The ammo one?
No, I don't remember that at all.
They were camouflage cans. They were crazy. They had extra caffeine in them.
Okay.
What do you think? What color does he embody? What color monster? Is it a coffee? Is it a monster juice? Is it a rehab? Is it a recovery? Is it a giant? Remember they used to come in glass bottles. Some monsters, like some crazy things out there.
I think like there's like a I think he whatever blue monster he was drinking, it's like a weird like it's like a weird
Can's
like
blue or the logo's blue?
No, the logo's blue. It's like a nitro, like a it's like
it's the new ones they came.
Yeah. Some weird like, you know,
blue raz, nitro, whatever.
Yeah, something. Yeah, some sort of weird infusion of something, dry ice or something. I don't know.
Getting all jacked up on Monster Energy.
Yep.
It's going to be a good time for Carson Hocevar, I think. But something to keep our eye on. Something else we're keeping our eye on is the Joe Gibbs Racing lawsuit against Chris Gabehart. That has taken some steps forward. Initially, the lawsuit was Joe Gibbs alleging that Chris Gabehart had been taking setup information and was trying to get that to another team as part of a employment arrangement that he had been setting up with them, that other team being Spire Motorsports, since we've began this NASCAR part 2. We've learned that. But the judge ruled that throughout, given all the information in the situation, the judge has now ruled that Chris Gabehart cannot take competition director responsibilities at Spire Motorsports based on what they are alleging he is doing in terms of his knowledge of the setups. So there were a couple of small points that kind of dovetail into this, where Chris Gabehart's wife flew on a Spire plane last season to a couple of races.
The flight vlogs get you every time.
Every time, from the biggest and best in the world to Chris Gabehart, you know, no one's safe. But you know, usually that wouldn't be something that like raises a red flag, because you know, people hitch rides. Everybody's going to the same place anyhow. But now that we see the lawsuit unfold, like, you know, maybe that's something you raise an eyebrow at. Joe Gibbs also hired a private investigator to follow Gabehart and what's his name? The guy who owns Spire, Dickerson, to follow them around to like spy and get evidence for this case as well. So if you think people aren't watching, if you're stealing setup information, you might want to look over your shoulder. Ty Gibbs also making some post-race comments this week at Phoenix about how he's got the right people in the room, and, you know, taking kind of a stab at Gabehart after he had said in court that, or court documents had revealed that Chris Gabehart didn't really think too much of Ty Gibbs, where in terms of, you know, oh yeah, only certain people have to show up for certain meetings at certain times, or be on time, or be where they need to be. You know, but that's part of like the
nepotism.
That's part of what happens when your name's on the door. The Nepo baby syndrome that Ty Gibbs has is it's deep rooted. It's hereditary. He's genetically predisposed to this.
I've heard he ran a great race this weekend, so
that's what I've heard also.
Yeah. You know, honestly, this is Buddy Pulley's education is here, and this all is up here. So I'm very nuanced in this. I don't know if that's the right word. I don't really even know what that word means. No, it's not the right word. Okay. This is very high level, and this is not, and I am not high level. But no, I mean to hire a PI. I mean, was it a Jehovah's Witness? Like, is that like?
I'm taking notes for next time. Maybe friend of the show Joe Gibbs is listening. Maybe
Oh.
he'll hire a Jehovah's Witness to spy for him next time around.
There's a couple Jehovah's Witnesses that live a couple doors down from me. So I wonder if Joe Gibbs hired him to spy on me. Heard him
Maybe.
talk about Ty Gibbs' lack of racecraft. I mean, I don't know.
Why would you ever say such a thing, buddy?
I don't know why I would
What are
ever
you
say
talking
such a
about?
thing. Look, I mean, the dude's only run 150 Cup races and not won any of them yet. We're
Came
not
close
getting
this
into
weekend.
Yeah, he did. He did. More on that later. But
More on that later. We'll get ourselves kind of dug in to.
Yeah. That was a
what
roundabout
happened
way
this
of
weekend.
saying I don't know about this lawsuit. So
Yeah, I think there's more. Obviously, there's more to it, and there's more information that we are, privy to, and that we have the ability and mental capacity to understand. So, if you are looking for us for NASCAR or legal information, as
Like I said the other
our
week.
primary source. Yeah, go ahead. Tell them
Like-
what you said the other week.
like I said the other week, I've made many passes through the bar, but I did not pass the bar. So you probably shouldn't come to us for legal advice.
We're basically just reading tweets and regurgitating what we hear from the internet. So take
That's
everything
all
with a
this
grain
really
of salt.
is. Yeah.
Do your own research if you're really that interested in it, and hopefully it all gets resolved and everybody can sing Kumbaya.
Really, I mean, if you really get down to the brass tacks of it, Sal and I are just like you. It's just we know Taylor Kitchen, and so we're here. So
We're still trying to figure out how that happened to begin with. Anyway,
yes, yeah. So with that, you can continue now.
with that, we'll continue on to the O'Reilly Auto Parts series. Justin Allgaier, Father Time. The hands.
It's not about what you know, folks. It's about who you know.
Just ask Ty Gibbs. Oh man,
Oh my god.
couldn't help myself.
Oh man. Oh, how about them O'Reilly?
All you gotta do is hit the sperm lottery and you can be a NASCAR Cup Series driver. Incredible.
Oh man, I came out the wrong balls.
We might not know Taylor Kitchen after this week.
Oh
Anyway,
man. Oh.
the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Justin Allgaier turned back the clock. I mean, this guy's been competitive at a high level for a very long time. He's a veteran of this series, of this second division of national touring racing for NASCAR. It looked like Jesse Love and Carson Quapple were going to just throw haymakers at the end of this one. Carson Quapple was chasing down his first career victory at this level. Looked like he had the car.
Yeah.
Just the tire didn't seem to, there were some late restarts. The tire didn't really seem to want to stay with him. Doesn't help. And buddy, I know you're going to go more into this now. I'm going to make a brief mention of it here because it did play into how this race finished. It doesn't help that you're having to block 4 lanes at Phoenix because drivers are going all the way to the wall on the apron. So it's extremely difficult for rookie, young, less experienced drivers to cover off in all the gaps to stay at the front.
Apparently, it's hard for veteran Cup drivers to even get through it. So
that's what we hear. But I think that's part of the reason why it was Justin Allgaier who, with the experience, was able to sit back, assess the situation. His team gave him the tools he needed, and that is why he ended up winning this race. Jesse Love had a great day as well. Sheldon Creed, there was a period.
Me Jesse Love.
Jesse Love, another energy drink guy, too.
I didn't know the beer.
No, you don't. Sheldon Creed also running a great third half of the race there. That double O car looked like he had an opportunity to maybe walk away with a win too. He slid up into the outside wall going across start finish line there late in that race. took some damage. Car didn't quite drive the same after. So, but it was Allgaier from 6th, drove it up there and just showed them boys what being a veteran in the series is like. So good for him. Did notice this week there was no Corey Day headline, and that may have been in part because of a meeting that supposedly happened at Junior Motorsports with maybe some Hendrick folks about.
I knew something was weird. I wasn't able to watch the O'Reilly race because I was covering Southern National, and you can watch On Tour this Wednesday on ATY Media. And I noticed I watched the highlight reel, and there was no Corey Day shenanigans this week. So
no, he kept it. He kept himself pretty well behaved. I mean, still a top 10 finish for Corey Day. So we talked about with Corey Day, where we're not trying to beat this guy up, but he last season he had speed. This year he has speed, but he just needs to figure out how to use that to get himself a win. And the way he was doing it the last couple of weeks was certainly not going to help him on track, week to week, or in his career. And I think it got to a point where it was like, hey, Corey, we can't keep replacing your race cars because you're wrecking the piss out of them every week. Please avoid crashing our hundreds of thousands of dollars in equipment on track for no reason. So he seemed to keep his nose pretty clean this week. Top 10 finish, checks the box, moves on. Maybe it's a new leaf for Corey Day in his young career as he looks to continue to build on his experience.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Corey Day. Him and Happy are both neutered now. So.
Oh, man. Happy, Corey Day, and Ross Chastain all snipped by...
All snipped.
Somebody from
Over
Hendrick.
from Banfield, baby.
Somebody I was really impressed with this weekend in the O'Reilly series was Jeremy Clements in that 51 car. That is a Haas factory team aligned car. They run similar setup information, similar engine building techniques. But that car was finished 11th. Now, Jeremy Clements isn't a name that I typically assign to, and for not by any fault of his own. It's just I think traditionally that team has not had, higher status partners, and it's difficult to develop your own tech if you're not a top team in any series. So not a slight at Jeremy Clements, but just really impressed with what he was able to do and show what he is capable of when he does have the right stuff under him. So you saw him mixing it up there at the front of the field too on some of those late race restarts. Absolutely unafraid to stick his nose in and just get as much as he could, even though he was mixing it up with guys weekly who were, on paper finishing really way above where he normally would in what he's got. But maybe this is something to keep an eye on for the entire season now, that 51 machine, perhaps some light on the horizon for them.
Sundress of the week, Jeremy Clements. And if you want to know what that means, come find me.
Buddy, we're definitely not going to know Taylor Kitchen after this week. We'll talk a little bit about track limits at Phoenix in the next segment after we wrap up some recap. But this is the one you've all been waiting for, the juiciest bit of information we've got for you this week. It was an IndyCar Cup Series doubleheader weekend from Phoenix, the first kind we've really seen of this magnitude. We got a little bit of a teaser last week at St. Pete with the trucks and the Indy cars. And I think we got more than that and everything we bargained for and more with it here in Phoenix. So big weekend for Penske. Roger Penske, obviously, IndyCar owner, Penske Motorsports, Penske Racing owner, Joseph Newgarden winning in the IndyCar race. Seemed like it could have been a toss-up there at the end. They dealt with some tire stuff.
Good race. Good, fun race.
I was very entertained as someone who
crazy
really
what happens when Alex Palou wrecks.
Yeah, nobody fell asleep by lap 30 because Palou was 15 seconds out of the field. Yeah, but IndyCar really intriguing to me. I think it drew a lot of NASCAR fans to kind of check it out and see what was going on. I was very well entertained by that.
And
Christian Rasmussen grabbed my attention. He was fun.
Oh, he's absolute like piss missile, but like in a good way.
Brother was ready to piss missile his way right to the front until that tire got nipped there. It was,
dude. I mean, if you ain't looking at a side pod, he ain't racing. I mean, it's crazy how good of a race can get put on at Phoenix when you have to race on the actual racetrack. So,
man, I mean, can you imagine those cars trying to cut the dogleg? They would crack in half.
Oh my God, yeah. We'd send one through Rattlesnake Hill.
Yeah, it was a good race. It was fun to see the cars actually on the original surface of the track where they belong. And again, we keep alluding to how we're going to talk about it because I think myself and Buddy have some similar feelings on like the track limits enforcement here and understanding why it is so egregiously officiated in the Cup Series as opposed to other motorsport disciplines. But we'll get to it. This was a big deal for Penske, though. They had their hospitality tent set up. You could see it from the moon. It was the biggest thing, outside of the oval. It was huge. But it was really cool because there was a lot of opportunities for media between, their IndyCar program and their Cup program. You saw Joseph Newgarden.
Well, you had to have 2 credentials to be media.
I did hear that. Yes, there was a little bit of confusion there as media folks wanted to get into IndyCar, could not if they had only a Cup badge, and then only could get into IndyCar if they didn't also have the Cup, credentials. So maybe there's some things to tighten up, but
yeah, I don't know what Albert Einstein came up with that one, but
you'd think they just have like a credential from the track or like a combined credential. Like Bob Pockrass covers both for Fox Sports. Like he's going to walk around with 2 credentials. I'm sure that's something that they'll look back on and they'll know that they can improve on. It's something that's, not a huge deal, but it's, if we want to do these doubleheader weekends, and I think Fox will want to do these doubleheader weekends again, based on some of the viewership numbers that we see, maybe just make it easier for people to talk about it. But it was cool to see kind of the crossover where like Newgarden is wearing the Ryan Blaney shirt on TV, and Logano is in the broadcast booth for the IndyCar race. It was obviously very heavily skewed.
He should have stayed in the booth for the Cup race.
He could have made it up there for the latter part of the race.
He could have, yeah.
If he could just stop pushing people where they don't need to be pushing. But took out my boy. But anyway, The broadcast crossover was something I had noted on the show sheet just because of it kind of gave that opportunity for IndyCar fans to hear a similar voice in the Cup during the Cup broadcast, and then for NASCAR fans, like I only knew Joey Logano in that broadcast booth. So for me to hear him, at least that's a name I can identify with, and I can understand why he asks the question he asks, and understand kind of from my understanding of the Cup Series. I'd rather him tell me than be confused by somebody I don't know. So
overall, it's just this. We need more cohesiveness in motorsports. We need less division. We need it to where we can have somewhere like ATYL Media where we can have all types of motorsports and everybody can get along and everybody can love everything. And I think that this is a step in that direction.
I mean, I will make a comment that I do think the crossover between IndyCar and the Cup Series is, from what I saw this weekend and what we saw at St. Pete, very healthy. It's just never really been introduced. The most toxic combination of fan, though, and if you think I'm wrong, sound off in the comments. Clip it, chat. F1 fans are just some of the most elitist, non-malleable brains in the motorsports world. They fail to comprehend other motorsports in general, even being entertaining, to the point F1 could be. And we're not an F1 show, and we have F1 shows here at ATYL Media, and we love those people who make that F1 show. They're great. But I think the consensus is F1 fans in general are pretty rigid when they are introduced to new motorsports. So hopefully things like this can inspire people to be a little more open to other motorsport series.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Is that concise? Does that make sense?
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah. It's cohesive sentences.
On to the Cup Series. Ryan Blaney absolutely putting a whooping on him.
Mm-hmm.
Climbed his way through the field twice. I think it was like something like 140 passes for him for the day, 130 some odd passes. Just unreal that he had to go through some of the penalties, and he had a tire that got loose on pit road. He had to go into Logano's.
I think he had 2 loose wheels.
Yeah, had to pull into teammates' pits to make it work. And then we saw a lot of interesting talking about tires, but Goodyear tire pressure recommendations. Teams really were pushing the boundary.
Yeah, I guess for Ryan Blaney, he's coming to his own since he won the championship, which is interesting because normally, a driver comes into his own before he wins the championship. But, he up until Joey Logano won the championship with a 17.1 average finish. Let's not forget that. Ryan Blaney had the worst average finish of any Cup Series champion ever. I have no clue if that's actually true, but it's pretty bad. And ever since then, he's become a driver that doesn't just win one race a year like he was for so long. He's become one of the top guys in the Cup Series. They have learned how to execute. That 12 team, which couldn't execute a ham sandwich for many years, figured out how to put together races, and they have always had pretty fast race cars. And Ryan Blaney, can finish it off. And in the past couple of years, he's done a really good job of proving why he's a champion in the series, and give a call to him. Now for the tire pressures. This is like when you're a little kid and you stick like a paperclip in the electrical outlet, and you get shocked, and then you don't do it again. But these guys keep getting shocked, and they don't do anything with it because Goodyear's saying, "Hey, don't do this. Don't go below this tire pressure," and they keep pulling the cat's tail and they get swiped because of it.
It was interesting because Goodyear had some great social content from this weekend. They were talking about the pressures, and they were like, these aren't exactly recommendations. Like we're kind of telling you this is what you should have at this track for this compound, because I think this is what people wanted out of Phoenix in terms of tire fall off. It's been funny because Phoenix has gotten a lot of hate over the last couple of years because of its status as the championship race in the now former playoff format. Praise God. Thank you, Jesus. But it's one of these deals now where we are running a higher horsepower package at Phoenix. You get about 50 extra horsepower in the new package, plus a tire that falls off more. I think it was Chase Briscoe who we heard kind of talk about on the radio, like, okay, this car is loose. Like you cannot just go in there and gun down and get the traction you used to. There's a little more to this now, which is kind of what all the fans and all the drivers have kind of been asking for. But it just goes to show how important that is, and I think it really improved the racing overall here in this next gen car. I don't think it's so bold to say that this is probably one of the best next gen races at Phoenix. I still don't want this to be a championship track. I don't want this to be the last track of the year. I still think Martinsville is a better track. I still think it's a better racing product for us at the end. But it's interesting now that we are not going to come to Phoenix as a series for the final race of the year, that we are the tire compound and the engine package are finding a little bit more footing, and fans are becoming a little more receptive to it. But put on some good racing this weekend.
Yeah, it definitely was one of the better Phoenix races I've seen. There's the famous Jay McMurray quote: "There hasn't been a good race at Phoenix since 1988." I mean, I'll be honest, I was napping through a lot of this race. Kyle Busch blew a tire and Shane Van Gisbergen spun, and I fell back asleep and woke back up, and Kyle Busch spun and Shane Vickers, or Kyle Busch blew a tire, Shane Vickers spun, and I was like, oh, I've only been asleep for a few minutes, but I'm like, but how did 100 laps pass? That's crazy.
Yeah.
But from what I've gathered, it was a solid race, and it's give a call to Goodyear because we've put a lot on their shoulders to kind of fix the problems that were presented to us when they rolled out this absolutely disaster of a race car, and we've been able to, somewhat salvage some decency out of this thing with Goodyear tires and 80 extra horsepower.
Yeah, it was like the conversation of, is Phoenix good again? And I think yes, based on what we saw this
Again.
weekend, yes is the answer. I mean, 1988, Phoenix used to be a great racetrack. I mean, it was entertaining racing. And
1988 was the inaugural race. Never been good. It's never been fantastic. Beautiful city. I'm wearing my cactus hat right now. But I mean, yeah.
Is it going to be a good racetrack moving ahead? Because could this be the thing that turns the page for them at that place?
Sure.
All right. Only one way to find out. We'll have to wait and see.
That's why we run the race.
That's right. Speaking of those who were not running the race this weekend, Alex Bowman, unfortunately not in the car behind the wheel of the 48, has some vertigo symptoms, which you may hear that and think, oh, why would that sideline him? I've never had to experience that, but from what I understand, it is wildly disorienting, depending on the severity of the case
It is what ended Terry Labonte's Ironman streak, was vertigo. No, he said he got rid of it by riding a bunch of roller coasters. So if I'm Alex, I'm heading my ass down to Universal Studios and I'm getting on Dueling Dragons and the Incredible Hulk and seeing if I can get back in this race car.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we see Alex back in the car at Las Vegas. Unfortunate that he's was not able to be out there for Phoenix, but it did give full-time Hendrick Motorsports sim driver Anthony Alfredo the opportunity to get behind the wheel. Proud Italian-American hero of a generation. Tony Soprano, Christopher Columbus, Anthony Alfredo in no particular order.
My God. One of those is not... Okay.
But, it's one of these deals where I think Anthony Alfredo, this could have been a career-defining day for him.
Christopher Columbus is Spanish.
Christopher Columbus is not Spanish.
Yes, he is. He's from Spain. Look it up.
I think Christopher Columbus was contracted by the Spanish.
Oh. Still a piece of shit.
Christopher Columbus was an Italian explorer and navigator from the Republic of Genoa who completed 4 Spanish-based voyages across the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay.
Sponsored by Catholic monarchs, opening the way for widespread European exploration and
Columbus
colonization of the Americas.
Columbus isn't Italian or Spanish. Where the f*** did this dude come from?
He's Italian. He's born in Genoa, Italy.
It's not. Yeah, Columbus is not Italian or Spanish. What did I say?
He's born in Genoa, Italy. He's Italian.
What kind of name is Columbus then?
Italian.
Columbus is Italian?
Yes.
Okay. It ends in not a vowel.
His parents' last names were Colombo and Fontana Rosa.
Okay, so that's very Italian.
Perhaps there was some name changing happening there.
Okay,
he didn't want to be Colombo. Maybe he took Columbus.
Okay. Gotcha.
People immigrate places; they change the last names.
Okay.
Anyway, now that you've had your history portion of the show, this could have been a really career-defining day for Anthony Alfredo, whose name does end in a vowel. He puts in a lot of time at Hendrick Motorsports, helping them test and tune those setups for all of their Cup teams. So I just wanted to give him his flowers. I do like Anthony Alfredo. He's a homie. Really talented young driver who just hasn't really had an opportunity to make the most of any particular situation on a big team, and I think he did make a good. He made a great run in this 48 car this weekend, where he was down laps coming into like stage 2, and was able to drive that car on strategy back up through. I believe he was in 7th when he got caught up in that wreck with Joey Logano pushing Ross Chastain down on the dog leg and getting just sandwiched. Austin Cindric also wrecked out of this race in that same time. Austin
Brutal
Cindric,
hit.
somebody get that guy I don't know, like a get
Crystals
well
or
soon
something?
card.
Like, holy
Yeah, like do some incense around him. Anytime I see him getting gerschmacked against the wall, it's always a heavy hit for that 2 car. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a good run for Alfredo. I think this is, it's funny. It's kind of the same situation Alex Bowman was in with Dale Earnhardt Jr. when he was subbing for him. So it's funny how that comes around. Yeah, I mean, this is a tough deal for Alex. I think I like Alex a lot. This is, he had that breakout year in 2021, won 4 races, and then came out and won in 2022 early in the season. Got that concussion in the worst race I've ever seen in my life, Texas 2022. Hasn't really been the same since. He was leading the points, broke his back at a sprint car race. And he almost reminds me of the Ricky Craven. Like, he's got talent. He's won some races, and it's just he's been plagued by injury after injury after injury. That's just hasn't allowed him to really show off his full potential like I think he can. And that sucks, because I think Alex Bowman is a talented race car driver and can do great things in that Hendrick car. But my God, dude, I mean, he can't catch a break.
It's also important to note that he is in a contract year this year, which doesn't add to the fact that he's out of the car right now. He's going to have to make a recovery physically, mentally, to get back in. And not only that, but he's going to have to get in the car and perform. He's quite a ways out of, early on here, what we would consider a stab at the chase, the top 16.
He is last, just below Connor Zilic.
Yeah. So it's one of these deals too where the points format does not allow, Anthony Alfredo running for him this weekend does not give Bowman those points. It's not like a car points accumulation. It is base per driver, so it's going to be an uphill battle for Alex when he comes back. I think Alex is great. I like Alex. I like that Alex gets drunk in the bathtub when he won after Chicago. I thought that was hilarious.
What's funny is last week we said, who's the trivia question? The only driver to drive the 48 car other than Alex and Jimmy, and it was Maya Snyder. I was completely wrong. Josh Berry and Noah Gragson both drove that car, and I think even Justin Allgaier when Jimmy was running. So we were completely wrong.
And now Anthony Alfredo.
And now Anthony Alfredo. We were totally wrong in that, and by we I mean me. But you're guilty by association.
Rely on Buddy Pulley as your encyclopedia of NASCAR information.
I mean, look, I thought
Joseph when you need him.
I thought Alex and Jimmy were the only ones to run the 48, and I thought Columbus was Spanish. So I mean, if that teaches you anything,
hopefully you learn something from listening to us each and every week. Whatever you pull away is
just
up to
not that.
It's just not that. Anything else for this race? I mean, I was really impressed by some of the tenacity.
Yeah, let's talk about the disaster that was Joey Logano's day.
I gotta tell you, I did cheer a little bit when Logano, they pulled him out of there with the wrecker, because it was coming. Yeah. It was coming. He was doing shit that he shouldn't have been doing, and he got cooked.
He absolutely wrecked Ross Chastain. Like, not saying it was on purpose, but
I mean, he did it on purpose. Yeah.
I mean, but he crashed the out of him. Like,
why make that move in that moment?
Jeff Gluck brought up a good
point. Spot so bad, dude, right then.
And Jeff Gluck brought up a good point, because I mean, Joey then proceeded to drive straight across the nose of AJ Allmendinger and wreck himself. Imagine if this had been Carson Hocevar.
This was a good
Oh my
one,
God,
yes.
he would be nailed to
Front page news.
Like, I mean, it would be like, but it's Joey Logano. He gets away with it. And Joey is. They tell me he's a 3-time champion, and he is. He's can be a smart race car driver. This was just a bad day for Joey, but holy shit, what a time to have a bad day.
Well, and to have a bad day the way he had a bad day, it wasn't just that he hurt himself. There was a lot of casualties, out there on track from things he chose to do, which sucks. Like, I don't know. It was not that move on Ross Chastain was just didn't look like a veteran move to me.
No, it didn't. Astute observation there, Sal.
It's just you're going to hear all these Joey Logano fans tell you that, it's a mistake and nobody's perfect and this, that, and the other. But it's like, come on. Like, you're pushing a guy on an uneven surface down through a part of the track they shouldn't even be on to begin with. And it's enough to wipe out like 5-6 cars all at once. And then, somehow we're surprised when he clears himself across AJ and wrecks himself. I hope Joey fans are tailoring their expectations based on what they saw this weekend, because it was not impressive at all. Good news, Roger Penske has Ryan Blaney, and he got the job done anyway. So.
Yep. That's all I got.
That's all you got. Kyle Busch, real quick. This is my last point. Then I'll
all right.
Can somebody please go get this guy and save him from the poor choices he's made by joining Richard Childress Racing? Somebody help him. He needs help.
In Kyle's defense, his only two options when he left JGR were RCR and Stuart Haas. At least RCR is still in business.
True. I don't know. It's tough to watch. It's getting tougher and tougher to watch for me. Yeah, I'm not some like Kyle Busch like defender. I did not grow up a Kyle Busch fan. He was usually the first driver I was cheering when he hit the wall. But like, the guy's a hell of a talent. I mean, I have certainly come around to Kyle Busch, legend of the sport. To see him like wallow away like this, it is hurting me. But don't worry, Cletus is going to run in RCR's O'Reilly program.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing over there? Like, what is happening? I have questions and I need answers. And I think if you're a Kyle Busch fan, like, you're not getting lucky ever again, the rate you're going right now. So you should have questions too. But I mean, I was impressed by him this weekend, though, as a wheelman, just, tires blowing out, still trying to drive that thing as hard as he could. In the top 20, but like the fact that I have to sit here and tell you, hey, this is something to be excited about. Kyle Busch finished in the top 20. That should leave you with more questions than it does.
Considering the guy that what is it? The butterfly effect of Kyle Busch blowing a tire means that Shane Van Gisbergen spins. I mean, Shane still finished 11th. I mean.
Something ain't right over there with that 8 car, and I don't know what the future holds there. There is a conversation being had online that Kyle Busch probably going to be shopping his options around this offseason. He's also in a contract year. The other conversation being had, listening to Teardown, that makes you really think is who would go up to the 8 car if Kyle Busch moved on from RCR.
Jesse Love.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think Austin Hill would be a weapon out there in the Cup Series. We've seen enough of him in the O'Reilly Series to understand that. We love Austin Hill at super speedways. Nice guy. But I don't know. It's certainly one where it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do if this hypothetical situation comes to fruition.
Great. Yep.
Great. Yep, buddy. You're really pulling the weight tonight here as a co-host. I appreciate everything you're doing here for Below the Yellow Line. Speaking of pulling the weight, we're going to have somebody else take over here for a moment right now. And those somebody else's are you, the callers. voicemails here this week. Let's get it fired off with our first one.
So with Toyota winning 3 out of the first 4 races and having such a dominant start to the season, they had 5 drivers finish in the top 8 at Phoenix. What does Chevrolet need to do to be able to combat the Toyota dominance? And is there any influence on this dominance due to Chevrolet introducing that new body? Let me know.
Ooh.
First of all, great question.
That's
great call.
Very
this
great.
is an A+ S tier call.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Ahead,
it's either need to give us something like this or just a complete utter disaster piece. What do Ford I mean, to be fair, Toyota they put a lot of cars in the top 10. They were not the fastest car this week. For Ryan Blaney was the guy this week.
You don't think that 20 car was the fastest car on track?
No, Ryan Blaney had to come back for 74 loose wheels, and I mean, he, if they could ever get that, that one lug nut, it's tough. There's a whole one of them they got to put on there, and they couldn't really get it right. But no, I mean, I feel like it's almost too early to tell. I feel like it's almost too early to tell. This is a great question that I think we should pin for a couple weeks from now.
For sure. I think we can leave it in the I think we can leave it in the bank for now. I think, in a very kind of short-sighted response maybe from me, I think what you see from Ford this weekend is kind of a response to the Toyota dominance to start the year. Penske and Ford Racing know what they need to do, places like Phoenix, and they're going to capitalize the places that they know they are good at. So Chevy, though, is an interesting conversation. They led 1 lap at Phoenix, Chevrolet. 1 lap.
That's not abnormal, though. I mean,
Hendrick has been consistently inconsistent here.
Yes, exactly. And if you look at it, I mean, Carson Hocevar had speed. Daniel Suarez had speed until he got wrecked and wrecked himself. So, I think, this is a hell of a question. I think it's too early to tell, though. I think it's too early to tell.
Do you think, and I had heard this somewhere else, too, so it's interesting that the caller also brought it up, this new Chevy Aero, this body upgrade, whatever you choose to call it.
Yeah. Plastic surgery.
Yeah, and the changes are very, very small looking.
They put a side by side up, and I couldn't figure it out.
I wonder if you'll get some kind of result change at super speedways where the aerodynamics, it means that much more. The effects are so much more compound over the race. I don't know. We haven't seen that. We haven't been given a reason to believe that yet at Daytona or at Atlanta. But I wonder as we go down the line here to Talladega, we are going to go to Las Vegas. The series is going to go to Las Vegas. Actually, we are, because I will be at Las Vegas this coming weekend.
I'll be there in spirit.
I am curious to see maybe if there's some kind of change to their season at 1.5 miles. So I think this is one, though, that we have a hard time answering right now because there's just not enough body of work to see if Ford and Chevy can really mount a comeback on the Toyotas right now. Toyotas have been good this year.
Yeah. Great question. We'll follow through.
Them cheating Yoders. Second call from a special guest, actual friend of the show.
Hey, Sound Buddy, it's your boy, Brayton Last of the Pizza Man again. That clip was pretty cool. We announced Kansas, we announced, possibly doing the dirt races, but now our full schedule is out. So if anyone wants the follow-up, I guess, from our previous clip, you can go over to BraytonLasser.com or our social media channels and check it out. But we're running basically all the big tracks for anyone at home listening, and we should totally get together sometime, eat some pizza, come on the show, talk race cars. And I'm going to tell you, that Brent Cruz kid, I'm going to tell you, he's pretty quick. I think he's going to turn some heads in the O'Reilly series this year. That's my opinion. But, have fun, boys, and stay below the yellow line.
Always stay below the yellow. We live below the yellow line. I had some pizza before this show started. Sal can verify that. Vivo's Restaurante here in Raleigh. Absolutely, Brayton. Anytime you want to get together and eat some pie, let's go, dude. Like,
I would love to nothing more than to eat pizza with the pizza man himself.
Oh.
So if we get a shot at doing something whenever, I mean, let's crack that pie open.
We'll figure it out, dude. We'll figure it out. Absolutely. Appreciate you calling in. Britt Cruz is a hell of a talent. Can confirm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cruz has a bright future ahead of him, I think, ladies and gentlemen. This is not the first or last time you'll hear a lot about Brett Cruz in the O'Reilly series or even whatever his future holds beyond what he's doing now. 17 years old, comes with a huge body of experience to Joe Gibbs Racing, has some great sponsorship opportunities, to continue his career. Takes big chances. I still love what I've seen from him at COTA. He was also in the mix for, kind of part of the race here at Phoenix as well. So guy that age, so young still. I mean, for him to have some of the racecraft that he does, he's still learning, but I expect some pretty great things out of Brent Cruz moving ahead. I agree, Braden.
Yep. Great things coming out of Brayton Lester as well.
Always. Great things going into Brayton Lester. Pizza. We love pizza.
Hell yeah.
AI Slop, buddy. Did you do a deep dive into your pawpaw's Facebook feed to see what
my
your
pawpaw's dead. So
hate to say it. See, but silver lining. He doesn't have to see all this AI slop.
That's right.
But we do, and now so do you. So what did you find?
Yeah, this comes from Weber Valley Speedway, one of my favorite AI. Yeah, you know exactly. This is a famous one. NASCAR star Ross Chestpain tried, spelled Tryed, to do his wall ride trick at the track last night to show off for the fans. Unfortunately, it's spelled wrong. The turn 3 wall is mostly rotted plywood, so he busted straight through it and wrecked into a petting zoo. Ross is fine, but he squished our prized emus, so we are charging his team $450 for destruction.
So for those of you who don't know about Weber Valley Speedway, they are less of a AI misinformation page than they are just a great follow for just the bit. It's so funny.
It's so funny. And that's why I gathered another one.
2 for 1 special.
A 2 for 1 special, dude. I don't know.
Weber Valley's not AI slop, but it's AI.
It's not, but it's good. It's fantastic. It was an AI picture that was attached to it, so we can count that for what it's worth. And then this next one, if I can find it in my Rolodex, it was here we go. Natalie Decker to race in the Coke Zero Sugar 400 at Daytona. Oh man, thank gosh. Yeah.
I saw a bunch of AI posts about her getting a full-time Cup Series ride.
Yep.
That was this week, not to steal your thunder.
There was quite a few. To give you a synopsis of the comments, it was a lot of this is ridiculous, and then a lot of exactly what do you expect from old men and Natalie Decker. So
at least some of the fans are consistently, gross. Anyway, buddy, was there anything this week that really got you riled up? That really got the gears, out of sync? Really grinded them up into a fine dust or a powder?
They're sold out of WD-40 in the area, and you know why? Because my gears are grinding. The apron at Phoenix, I said it last week, I don't have pet peeves, I have major psychotic hatred, and the apron at Phoenix is the dumbest thing in the entire universe. It makes Patrick Starr look like a fucking rocket scientist. This is the dumbest shit. It's crazy that this is the same issue I have with Watkins Glen and the amount of runoff area we have there. It devalues driver skill set. You just blast it off through the apron, and you run right back through you run through the back of Ross Chastain, or you drive up into AJ Allmendinger, you got 9 wide, and you cause this absolute chaos coming off turn 2. It is every single wreck that happened at Phoenix that wasn't a blown tire. Actually, no, every single wreck that happened at Phoenix was caused by that apron. Every single one of them. They did a whole bit in the pre-race of the show how driving on the apron hurts the tire, and we have the low tire pressures obviously that the teams are running, but it doesn't. I'm going to blame it on the apron at Phoenix because it contributed to it, right? It's the dumbest thing in the world. It's crazy that we allow this. It just promotes chaos. It is everything wrong. It is the playoffs in a restart. That is what it is, and I hate it more than life itself.
Playoffs in a restart is crazy word.
It's the dumbest shit. Is the dumbest shit. It does not promote driver skill. It promotes sending it like a idiot.
While I agree with you pretty wholeheartedly, I think the draw of the apron is the entertainment factor. And I said this to you last week, where it's like I can't think of Phoenix now without thinking about the Truck Championship last year, where they were 7 wide. Corey Heim cuts the inside on the in the final stages to make that pass 7 wide. Like, if you looked at Phoenix,
maybe if we didn't have a stupid playoff system, Corey Heim wouldn't have had to go 7 wide to make a pass.
I agree. I agree with you, but I think that's part of what some individuals were looking for in terms of exciting racecraft.
We don't have the playoffs anymore. We don't need the apron at Phoenix.
I do agree with you, though, that like if COTA is always a place where we talk about track limits, and they have been so strictly enforced, and they've changed, and there's been all different kinds of conversation around track limits at COTA and at Watkins Glen too. But like, okay, so it's a road course, but that doesn't really change much in terms of how you're going to officiate this, because it's still off track. Like, you're still way down on the bottom of this surface where it just doesn't make sense.
And let's make it clear. I don't want them to start making calls on like who went below the O line at Phoenix. There's a time and a place for below the O line, and it's Tuesdays at 7 p.m. on ATYL Media.
Goddamn right.
What we could do? They make this great shit called AstroTurf. It's awesome. You should look into it. It's the only patch of grass in the entire state of Phoenix, and Phoenix isn't even a state, so take that with what you will. You put some AstroTurf down there because grass don't grow out there because it's sand.
Surface of the sun.
You see what this is? This is sand. You know what it's going to be 100 years from now? It's going to be sand. Nothing grows out here. Anyway, shout out to Sam Kinison. Sal is distraught.
We've had a wild show tonight.
We have had a wild show.
That Sam Kinison bit. If you've never seen it, I encourage you to. If you have a strong,
you gotta move where the food is. You gotta move where the racetrack is.
If you have a good sense of humor, Sam Kinnison's specials or something.
Exactly. So anyway, I rest my case. Throw some cactuses out there. Maybe Joey Logano will be afraid of prickling his bald ass head, and he won't drive down on the apron and wreck the whole field.
I mean, I understand where the gears are getting ground.
Yeah,
it's certainly one that I am confused on a little bit. I think something else I was frustrated with that I just kind of thought of while you were going off. Can they move the spotter stand, please? Can we just get the spotters together and ask them where they want to stand instead of putting them in a place where they can't see parts of the racetrack at a track this size?
Spotters are overrated anyway, but
I disagree. I disagree with that, but that's another topic for another time. But it's a deal where, like, if your spotter can't even assist you through a corner at a track, what is it, a mile?
You got three rear view mirrors and a camera.
Well, rear view mirrors doesn't help you see left and right, like out the.
You got a camera. Maybe race with some respect. Maybe just not bob it in there. Come on.
That's not. But that's not going to happen, buddy.
Really?
That's what the spotters' jobs.
Look, the most damn dangerous racing we got out here right now in oval track is sprint cars. You know what? They don't have spotters, and they make it just fine. So we can grow some cojones, and I mean,
long live the spotter.
I'm not saying get rid of spotters altogether.
That's what it sounds like to me, buddy. Sounds like you want to cut jobs, give them to AI cameras.
I think we should put. I think the apron at Phoenix. I think the playoffs, which we got rid of those. I think the spotters. I think anything that takes it out of the driver's hands and is dumb. And I think the role of the spotter has taken entirely too much control over the situation here.
Okay, I think it's a safety thing for me. I think they're necessary for safety because some drivers are so unpredictable. Where even if you want to run respectfully, driver,
and that's why
you know
why they're unpredictable, Sal, is because they have spotters and let's make this clear. I'm not saying we shouldn't have spotters. I'm not saying spotters are the entire problem with racing. But maybe if we would nurture these drivers into not being absolute piss missiles all the time, then totally maybe we wouldn't need spotters to have such a pertinent role in NASCAR, and we could not have to rely on them to not crash the whole field and driving on the apron at Phoenix. I'm sorry, I've had a couple beers. Leave a comment below. I want to know you guys' thoughts on this. Spotters, apron at Phoenix. Anything else on your mind?
Rear view camera cams. Throw that into
the dumbest thing ever.
Agreed. Promotes mirror driving.
It's the Mount Rushmore of stupid shit.
I'll say this, and the rear view camera mirror is the reason Dover is not getting a points race anymore, because that track is so it's so aero dependent, and you can shut off a run to somebody by mirror driving once you're in a position, that it really killed what was a lot of good racing and a lot of fun at that place.
No, it's okay. We got 350 laps at Dover. We only lost 50 laps, so
I mean we'll talk more about the
All-Star format. We'll talk more of that when that comes about.
Briefly, if you don't understand it, don't feel bad, because no one does. Anyway, each and every week we select who we think is going to finish Daddy Eddie ass last. Buddy comes into this week up 2-1 on Sal. He had correctly selected lower scoring drivers, or lower position drivers, at the Daytona 500 and at Atlanta. I fought back at Circuit of the Americas with a good pick, and this week I'm adding another notch to the belt, buddy. I'm coming for the crown. Chase Briscoe was our last place finisher with some issues he had early in the race, but finishing just ahead of Chase Briscoe was Noah Gragson, who was my pick. You were very close, buddy. I mean, razor thin margin here. Yeah. You had picked Cole Custer. Custer finished one position ahead of Noah Gragson down there at the bottom of the finishing order. Yeah. So could have been a coin flip this week for, could have been, but we're 2-2.
We are. I have my pick for Vegas.
Well, why don't you lay it on me? Let me know.
As if I'm not going to get enough hate. Chase Elliott is my pick to finish last at Vegas. This is Chase Elliott's worst track. I've seen him wreck here more than I've seen most people wreck ever. He didn't even show up one year. To the race, Chase Elliott will finish last.
Okay.
That is a statistical pick.
Ooh, I guess now I have to do one better. I want to pick something unique, and I'm looking at the list now because I don't want a sandbag pick.
Hurry up! I got to piss like a Bulgarian racehorse.
We did not hit anything.
Think there's going to be something to Legacy Motor Club has made a good push this past week. Phoenix, Eric Jones, a top 10 finish. I'm going to pick his teammate John Hunter Nemechek. I have a lot of respect for John Hunter. There's a clip that burns in my mind of, and I've mentioned this in content before, but John Hunter in what was once an Xfinity car for Joe Gibbs Racing, running the top line at Las Vegas, passing almost the entire field on a fresh set of tires, just weaving his way through the field, ended up winning that race that day in that series. This was years ago now, but there has been much to be desired from that car, from that team, and I think while they are building and trending in the right direction, I do think they might find some struggle here this weekend for one reason or another. Eric Jones finding a little bit of luck this past weekend, getting the good finish put together, but we'll see if they can prove me wrong on the other side with the other team.
All right. Astute observation.
We're going to Las Vegas.
We are
next week.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to talk about in terms of the first mile and a half of the year. Before we talk about that, I did want to throw in there casually that Dale Jr. is talking about doing a drunk episode of his show. Have you seen that?
No.
He joked.
We did that tonight.
I was going to say, like, friend of the show, Dale Earnhardt Jr.,
major friend of the show.
If you're ever looking for some good pointers on how to do a great drunk podcast, maybe you shouldn't ask us. But I would love to listen to Dale and the boys get a little silly in the studio and do some drunk history or something that would be fun for listeners. But keep your eyes and ears peeled for that out there, ladies and gentlemen. But Las Vegas, buddy. You looking forward to this race? What's the feeling you have as we get closer and closer here? We get ready for the weekend.
I've only been to Vegas once. The only time I ever went to a strip club was in Las Vegas. I told a nice, fine young lady to get off of me. I had a girlfriend at the time. I was drugged there by some friends. But I did see the Wynn Hotel where Kevin Harvick had his awards banquet for winning his championship. So, it wasn't all a bad night.
Wynn's a nice hotel. It's a fancy hotel.
It isn't, yeah. DJ Khaled was supposed to be at the club. He didn't show up.
They rarely do show up where they're supposed to show up.
So
I've been a frequenter of Las Vegas.
What did you ask me?
I asked you if you were looking forward to anything upcoming for the race weekend.
Oh, no.
It's our first mile and a half. It's my first time in Las Vegas for not work. So each and every November, I travel out to...
You're working, you're doing hard-hitting, boots-on-the-ground journalism for BTYL.
I am not... I am not accredited media this weekend because I know what the disaster that is ready to befall me will befall me in the city of Las Vegas. But I spend a lot of time out there in the fall for work, and this is the first time I'll have the opportunity to be out there for something that I get to enjoy in a non-professional capacity. So I'm really looking forward to it. It should be interesting. This is one of my bucket list tracks, if you can believe that. I don't know if that's a very good bucket list, but I think Las Vegas, Kansas was on that list as well. Really wanted to go to Kansas too. And I think it's at the best mile and a half racing is really what I'm after. I think
I went to Vegas for work when I worked for Domino's, and there's a Domino's chant that I'm not going to do here. It is the cult.
Did you go out there for one of those cult meetings they do?
An absolute cult meeting. Thank you for recognizing that. Yeah, I'm a victim. And it was about 3:00 in the morning. I was in a White Castle, and I was just trying to pee, and I heard a group of Dominoids walking in doing the Domino's chant at 3 in the morning, and I had my badge on still, and I just tucked that shit into my shirt, and I'm like, I'm taking this piss in peace. And yeah, and then I walked to the establishment.
Yeah,
I put $10 down on something and won 16. I beat the house and when I was.
I feel like you would be a real disaster in Las Vegas.
I was less of a disaster than you would have thought, but I was also a nice young lad. I looked about 16 when I went to Las Vegas.
So
I was freshly 21.
You couldn't get away with too much.
No, I was freshly 21, but I looked 16. So
I can definitely appreciate your cult meeting though, because when I worked for Wawa for about 5 years.
You worked for Wawa, Tyler?
Yes.
Did you hear that? Sal worked for Wawa.
I did. I was a professional gas dispensing attendant. I
forget you New Jerseyans aren't trusted with gas.
We're too good to pump our own gas, but they would do an event in Orlando every year called Goose Jam.
What the
and they had a song
they
would sing because the goose is the logo, is the mascot for
That's
Wawa.
what that is.
So next time you go to a that's what that is on the Wawa logo.
I thought that was a Wawa.
Wawa is a town in Pennsylvania where the company was founded.
I thought it was a bird that I just never heard of.
The goose is technically the mascot, but they used to do some creepy, weird goose jam. Sell me your soul, cut your hand open, and let's have a high five. Weird shit. Yeah. Also, but I guess it works for some people. They're happy. They drink the Kool-Aid. Everyone sings Kumbaya, and shareholder value goes up. But it's definitely one of those weird places, Las Vegas, where you get them in all shapes and sizes and all walks of life. There's a lot going on in Vegas this weekend.
Worldwide Wawa rally?
It's a nationwide Wawa event.
Oh, see, Domino's was like worldwide.
If Wawa was worldwide, it would be unbelievable.
There was a group of Australian Domino's employees there, and there was a nice young lady that I fancied, and I wanted to go talk to her out, and a friend of mine that he encouraged me to go and speak to this lady, and I was like, she doesn't want to talk to no Domino's employee, and he looked me dead in the eye and goes, "Hey, dude, we're all Domino's people."
It's true though when you go into town for stuff like that. Yeah.
It was true. Yeah. So anyway, there's a race this weekend.
Yeah, it is our first mile and a half, Las Vegas. We've heard a lot of commentary from drivers and from other media folks in the NASCAR Cup Series world that this is when the real season starts. Which, if you're saying shit like that, maybe just shut the up because this is the fourth race of the year. The real season started at the Daytona 500. I don't want to hear any of that tomfoolery out of anybody's mouth. I don't care who it is. This race, though, I think is a great opportunity to look at mile and a half tracks. This is traditionally the best type of track for this next gen car. I think teams, over the last couple of years, Vegas has been a place we've seen a lot of exciting racing. It's a 2-groove racetrack for the most part. And I think we're in for a good day. Christopher Bell runs pretty well here. I don't have a pick. I know my friends are going to go out there and they're going to want to gamble. I have a friend who knew nothing about NASCAR until I invited him on this trip to Las Vegas to go to this race. And in the last 8 months, he has texted me every single weekend that there has been Cup Series racing on and asked me who he should bet on. And he has done pretty well. We don't do a gambling section of the show because I don't think either of us gamble on the sport. But it's like
I gambled on the sport once.
I think it's so difficult to gamble on
Dude,
NASCAR.
we went to
in
the
my
casino.
opinion.
We went to the casino at Dover and gambled a little bit. And
That place is crazy.
yeah, and we put some money on Jimmy Johnson because it was when he was driving the ugly ass Family Dollar 84, and he like practiced like sixth or something, and we were like, bro's got it, like he on lock.
He didn't finish sixth.
Well, let me tell you, we put some money down, and we were already picking out the color of our Ferrari. Like, like we were so ready. We put down like 6 or 7 bets, and 6, 7, and yeah, we won like $6, and then my dickhead friends didn't even have the common courtesy after the race to drive back around to the backstretch so I could cash in my $6 bet. It was some.
Buddy, when you can't feed the family, you make sure you call those people and ask them for the handout because they owe you $6, brother.
Exactly. Yeah, I could have gone to the goose store known as Wawa and got me a wrap or shit. Like,
I did have a friend this weekend who bet Ryan Blaney outright winner and then Christopher Bell outright top 3 finish. So there's people who are.
That was tough.
Well, top 3 is you could have said the same thing about Chase Briscoe this weekend. A car you could have bet a top 5 or better position.
Yeah, I could have said that about Cody Ware too.
Not the same thing though.
Oh well, shout out to Carson Ware. He won a pro late model race at Hickory this weekend. Shout out to the fam.
The Wares are everywhere. Great business.
Actual friend of the show.
Actual friend of the show.
Carson Ware. Anyway, do you have anything else, or can I go pee now?
We're gonna let Buddy go piss like a racehorse.
Bulgarian racehorse.
A Bulgarian racehorse. We hope you'll race back to Below the Yellow Line each and every week, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Buddy, where can people find you on social media? What do you do besides just this podcast?
They can find me on all social media platforms at the Buddy Pulley, and also you can watch On Tour Wednesday this week, covering everything from the speed weeks at Southern National. That's where I was all week. You can go look at my socials and see all the recaps I made, and also hype this video. That's a new feature on YouTube, so make sure you hype this video. But then if you're listening on Spotify, I don't know what the you do there. So
give us a 5-star rating on Spotify.
That's how we do it. Yeah, give us a 5-star.
Helps get us moving in the right direction.
Exactly. It keeps us another week from getting fired by Taylor Kitchen.
Helps us continue to know Taylor Kitchen. Not sure if that's going to do us any good after this episode, but you can all find me on social media, Instagram, TikTok, most predominantly at SlideJobSal. I will be posting throughout the weekend at the racetrack from around town, just getting silly, getting lost in the sauce out there in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we'll see if I make it home in one piece to do an episode in time for the Las Vegas recap. I'm sure we'll have lots of fun stories to tell, and
I can't wait.
Few new memories made. I've heard all of Buddy's great stories about being at the racetrack, so I feel like I have to try to have at least one that matches what he's kind of told me in some of these Below the Yellow Line after dark conversations we've had. So we'll see how it goes, but hopefully you're tuned back in each and every Tuesday evening. 7 p.m. is when this show goes live on ATYL platforms, Spotify, YouTube. Follow us on social, ATYL Media, see the clips. And
are you doing this on purpose?
On that note, we're going to let Buddy's bladder explode inside of his body. We'll see you all next week.